YouTube, what the blood for the blood gods crap is going on? Welcome back. It's more chaos. Yes, some of you made some comments about the last battle I put up with the Chaos Warrior build that was a little bit different. So Dov Plays, if I say it wrong, I apologize, but he sent me some replays of an army type of setup that he likes against Wood Elves and Empire, and we're going to watch that demonstrated here. It involves the big bird, none other than Sarthorel. The infantry is going to be made up of Chaos Marauders, supported by aspiring champions. There's going to be a Poison Warhound, 3 Chaos Chariots to try and cause some extra damage to infantry, which they are quite good at. Look at the Warhounds here, hoping to pin Boris on the ground. Not a place where Boris wants to be, really, so he's going to try and flee. And it is going to be hard for him to get back in the air. Really hard, actually. Plague of Rust hitting him, and that's actually going to let the Warhounds do a considerable amount of damage to him. So Plague of Rust, very timely there from Sarthorel. Lore of Metal's back. Confirmed, huh? Oh, that net is the only thing that saved Boris's life. Otherwise, he would have been dead. Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes, while all that was going on, get back here and wreck half a Demigryph Knight's hit points. They're going to need to pull away now, though, as they're being gunned down. So this is an anti-Shaggoth build, basically, by the Empire. They've got Demigryph Knights, Altdorf Griffites, 2 handgunners, a Flying Lord, and a net. So this is definitely going to be an anti-monster type chaos. And if you think about the Marauder pick, and this is what Dov Plays says, but he's absolutely right, these guys are good enough against most Empire infantry. I mean, think about it. Most Empire infantry is crap. The only good infantry is greatswords, and those guys can probably be handled by the chariots. The chariots are also very good at disrupting skirmishers, so I kind of like this plan, and you can bring them in from multiple positions to make it hard for the Empire to counter with the nets. You can see here straight through the middle of the spears, and then on into the greatswords. The chariots should cause a pretty tremendous amount of damage, all 3 of them in one group here. I'm sure you could split them up, like I said, to avoid netting, but I don't know, maybe the chariots become the pick. Now, the Everwatcher is picked because he can't easily be shot down by missiles. And look at the disruption the chariots cause here. They caused a ton of damage to the greatswords already. And they force Boris down to the ground. The engagement takes place. A lot of the greatswords getting charged here. And there's Forsaken combined with some of these. And look at the Warhounds with poison here are going to actually stop. And then the Plague of Rust upgraded here is going to allow the Forsaken to do a ton of damage to the Demigryph Knights that they wouldn't otherwise be able to do. So I like the use of Plague of Rust here, and the Marauder Horsemen with throwing axes sticking to the flanks. Look at this greatsword, already completely overrun. Sarthorel does cause terror, which is a nice feature for him. You can see he's trying to get into these greatswords, though he's temporarily netted. But again, the guns will do some damage, but they don't do as much damage to Sarthorel because of his missile resistance. You see the Marauder Horsemen coming around, gonna get into the handgunners over here. And look at all the damage these Forsaken have done to Demigryph Knights because of the Plague of Rust. Not bad. Not a bad trade at all. And look at just how overrun the Empire infantry gets here with the combination of Forsaken, aspiring champions. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Sarthorel's gonna get charged by Boris, and here comes the Demigryph Knights, so not gonna be the best day for Sarthorel. He's gonna want to run away from that. Aspiring champions holding back Boris, and the Demigryph Knights kind of being slowed down by pursuing Forsaken. And it looks like the Marauder Horsemen were able to take down the handgunners. There's some more handgunners fleeing. And some of the Chaos Chariots have come back too. Now the Light Wizard's still very much alive, but you can see that Big Bird's pretty fast and he's relatively slippery here. Flying units can stay after him, but the Demigryphs are actually going to have a hard time keeping pace with him. You can see that he can just kind of keep on running. The Marauder horses, kind of surprised they didn't throw axes at him here. That might have been a more effective strategy, but one way or the other, they're just trying to keep Boris off of Sarthorel while the rest of the match is finishing. You can see the Demigryph Knights here getting slaughtered by the huge ball of Chaos infantry. And this is going to be a clear victory for Chaos against what would have otherwise been a somewhat, look at that transmutation of lead. I think I saw for a minute. Yeah, it was transmutation of lead right there. Interesting. So Sarthorel actually using some magic.
Is that all you got?
So Plague of Rust, and yeah, transmutation of lead's actually a pretty good one. I forgot about this. It's a hex that goes in the area. So yeah, that's a pretty good hex. takes away 34 melee attack, and then quite a bit of their weapon damage, which the weapon damage won't really matter with the melee attack gone. Light Wizard still being an absolute nuisance back here. Boris is still very much alive, but he can't destroy all of this Chaos Infantry. It's just not going to happen. And the few regrouped Demigryph Knights are being pursued by Forsaken. And at this point, the Chaos just have to wipe off what's left of the Empire here. So, yeah, Boris can take back to the air, but we should... Let's see. Ooh, those chariots, boy, they're taking some fire here from the guns. And the Light Wizard's going to try and get in their way, but they're going to get one charge in and then quickly swing over for another. Try and get as much damage done as they can. Not bad. Getting some work done. Looks like Boris came back in, and he's going to get hit by Plague of Rust. Which takes away quite a bit of his armor. And it's just going to make him more susceptible to getting chewed up by all these Chaos units. So that was a pretty sweet battle, have to admit. Let's actually take a look at the stats. And he sent me one more replay against the Wood Elves I want to see. So that's a lot of Chaos units. That's 6 Marauders, 2 Champions, 4 Forsaken. So in and of itself, that's a ton of infantry. Now, granted, it's not the strongest infantry, but it is a lot. And then your Lord is not going to be... I mean, the only way this guy's going down easy is if he gets teamed up on by multiple heavy melee type monsters or lords. So I think it puts you in a pretty good place in terms of being relatively safe with them. You can't heal, but there's some other benefits there. Now, I like the combination Plague of Rust in use with the Warhounds against Boris, and then also the Forsaken against the Royal Altdorf Griffites. So some pretty cool strategy there. And a lot of people say, oh, you don't need strategy in Warhammer because it's just magic. Yeah, well, that was some pretty good strategy, right? Pull off the armor and then use a unit that would otherwise not work so good to work well at pinning down this. So thought that was pretty good. Yeah, okay, sorry I was a little bit dramatic about making fun of the people who say there's no strategy in this game. So let's keep moving. There was another one against the Wood Elves here that I wanted to see. Eagle, Treekin, Azrae Spear, Wildwood Rangers. So yeah, this army, I don't know if it's tailor-made against Shaggoths per se. But it's definitely an interesting one in the sense that the Wood Elves are going to sit all the way back here, and they're going to let the Glady do maximum skirmishing and then keep the Great Eagle around. They might have expected to see a Flying Lord, which is why they brought the extra Great Eagle. Yeah, this skirmishing with the Glady against Sarthrel is going to be somewhat senseless because he's 70% missile resistant. So it's not going to be the best spend of your ammunition, I don't think. He does have the Searing Doom spell, which is... It's actually okay versus fairly low armored units. Look at this, the Marauder Horseman with throwing axes. Yeah, the Glady's going to have to keep her distance. Those throwing axes are going to do a considerable amount of damage. So yeah, the Wood Elves, lots of anti-large. The War Dancers will be good against anything unarmored. Eternal Guard is anti-large. Azrae Spear anti-large. Wildwood Rangers are anti-large. And armor-piercing. And then the Treekin are probably meant for holding back infantry, I suppose. And then a Spell Singer to heal it all. So hoping to use probably all that anti-large bonus. War Dancers will be decent against stuff like Forsaken. Yeah, look at this. The Chariots, though. The Chariots are going to be able to have their way with a lot of these infantry. And the Glady has had to rethink her skirmishing proposal here. Prey of Eneth Rhaema to keep the Sarthrel pinned down for a moment. But, I mean, she can't skirmish with them while it's happening. She's going to turn around and do the Arrows of Kurnos, but it's not going to do much. And she's going to take a ton of damage from these Marauder Horsemen. And here comes the Chariots. I don't think Wood Elf Infantry is thickly... like packed enough or high mass enough. I mean, they'll do a ton of damage as they, yeah, oh yeah, holy crap. Yeah, if those Chariots get slowed down, sure enough, look at that. Absolutely melted like butter. So that's all the anti-large they were hoping to use against Shaggoths right there, folks. Look at that. Woo! Yeah, look at this, the Glady still being chased. Using the potions. But the Marauder Horsemen are right behind her, and she's got to stay away. Looks like the infantry are going to try and push back the Marauder Horses. I'm sure the Marauder Horses... Ooh, it's close, but they're going to leave. Alright, all the Marauders won't do great against Wildwood Rangers or War Dancers, but they'll do okay against Eternal Guard, and with Aspiring Champions around, combined with Forsaken, should be able to do quite a bit of damage. And there's just so many of them. Look how the Chaos player has this flank now, and he's still got these Marauder horses, and he could even swing around if he wants with the Chaos Warhounds with poison. The Eagle came down and attacked Sartharel, and Sartharel barely survives the Eagle attack. And then look back here, the Chariot's just running over the Spellsinger and keeping her quite a distance away from the fight, though they're not killing her in any big hurry. I would think Forsaken would probably get her killed in a big hurry. She's going to put a heal down over here, I think. No, it's Transmutation of Lead. Woo! Yeah. Kiss your melee attack goodbye, and that'll actually make those Marauders pretty effective all of a sudden. Now, some of the Marauders have routed because of a rear charge from the Glady under Dragon. The Warhound's just kind of being held back, and that's probably not a bad plan. Here comes Sartharel, hit by the Prey of Anathrema. Heroes of Kurnos doing some more damage. And I imagine the Glady is going to try and get a kill on Sartharel, but she's going to have to watch out because these Marauder Horsemen are parked very near. And the Elf Infantry is struggling mightily on the Chaos left flank. And we're getting some nice rear charges from the Chariots on the Chaos right flank. And now in the center, the Wood Elves have this all day long, but they're not doing a good job of redeploying these unused forces. And like right here, we're going to see a Searing Doom. Not going to do a ton of damage, but it's going to come in and do a little damage. Yeah, Sartharel is nearly dead, but the Glady's pulled back for some reason. The Eagle may want to try and finish Sartharel. The Spellsinger's really not being killed by the Chariots, but the Chariots are going to probably be able to continually run rear charges here down this hill. Should be somewhat effective. The Warhounds here should be able to keep the Eagle away. Yeah, they'll actually do pretty decent against the Eagle because of its low armor. So they should be able to get rid of the Eagle, but the Glady here taking an absolute thrashing from the Marauder Horsemen. She's determined to kill Sartharel, who did just take a nasty charge. Look at these Chariots. Oh, this is going to be brutal. Love it. Absolutely love it. So the Chariot's getting a fantastic charge there, and then here comes the rest of the Chaos Infantry. These big bunch of Wood Elves here are in some serious trouble. They do get an Earthblood help. Look at this. The Dragon. Sartharel survives somehow. He got knocked over, and now the Warhounds with poison are going to hunt down the Dragon. And the remainder of the Elf Infantry is hopelessly outmatched. Gets hit by a Transmutation of Lead, which is the last thing these guys need. Lose all their melee attack, and then a Searing Doom on top of it. Nice job by Sartharel here. He's going to come over to support leadership, and should be a mop-up here of the Wood Elf Infantry. They have no way to get to Sartharel. They're completely surrounded. The Glady did get away without being killed, which is pretty fortunate for the Wood Elves. It's the only thing keeping them from chain routing right now. And then that, and then probably the Spellsinger back here. There's very few elves to heal at this point. Wildwood Rangers do get us some decent kills, as do the Treekin, 53. I mean, the Wood Elf Infantry got some pretty decent kills, but they're just too outmatched. The Glady's continually being pushed off the battlefield by the Marauder horses, so she'll get pushed off. Treekin are going to rout, and that leaves just the Spellsinger as the only thing holding up the power bar. Those Treekin will get chased down. They routed. They are being healed, but it's too late. They've routed, and they wouldn't be able to hold up their leadership here anyway. Forsaken are going to hunt these guys down, and then the Forsaken will make very short work of a Spellsinger. She can use her crazy green magic here, but yep, not going to work. So, interesting replays from Dog Plays. Appreciate him sending those in. It was cool to see. Interesting army, and shows you that the Chaos does have a little more dimension to them than some people think. A lot of people think they're just a Shaggoth rush. That's obviously not entirely true. They are good at that. There is no doubt about it that they're good at that, but it is not the only way that they have to fight. They can fight other ways. Do hope y'all enjoyed this. I Love making this content for you. Appreciate MSI being an awesome sponsor. And speaking of awesome sponsor, I have something very cool to show you coming up that they sent me. And there'll be more things in the future as well. Tell me what else you want to see in some online battles, and I'll do my best to get it to you. I am going to play some online battles of my own. I've just been a little busy the last few days. Next time I get a chance, I'll play a group of them, get them up too, and we'll try out some fun builds. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you all next time.